You cannot claim to be the United Nations while disregarding the voice of 54 nations. It is not possible. Africa is no longer willing to wait on the margins of global governance while decisions about peace, security, and development are made without our understanding, without our perspectives, and without our voice. Africa's exclusion is not only unacceptable, unfair, and grossly unjust, it also undermines the very credibility of the United Nations, this organization. Africa dominates most of the Security Council agenda, provides some of the largest contingents of UN peacekeeping forces, and bears the heaviest costs of instability. Yet we remain the only continent without a permanent seat at the main table where decisions about our destiny are made. Africa deserves, ladies and gentlemen, at the very least, 2 permanent seats with full rights, including the right to veto, and 2 additional non-permanent seats on the United Nations Security Council.
Africa will no longer accept to be misjudged by scales that overlook our reality. The winds of change are blowing, and our march forward is as unstoppable as it is relentless. The time has come to rewrite our history and reclaim our narrative and charge the African Renaissance forward. Esteemed colleagues, our urgent calling is to fulfill our duty to Africa's people and ensure that our continent takes its rightful place in shaping global progress in its full capacity and potential, both as a people and as countries. That is why we are gathered here today. Africa's economic potential is hamstrung by a financial system that misrepresents, distorts, and understates our reality. Global credit rating agencies have not only dealt a bad hand, they have also deliberately failed Africa. They rely on flawed models, distorted and outdated assumptions, and systemic bias, painting an unfair picture of our economies and leading to distorted ratings, exaggerated risks, and unjustifiably high borrowing costs. Let me say this again. Global credit rating agencies have let us down. They continue to rely on very flawed models and outdated assumptions. And the whole system is also biased. The result is that they paint a very unfair picture of our economies, and this has devastating effects because it leads to distorted ratings of what the situation really is. And it also leads to exaggerated risk of our countries and our continent. And obviously, that leads to very high borrowing costs. These prejudice assessments come at an enormous cost to Africa. They deter investment, distort global trade, and derail progress towards sustainable development goals. By misjudging Africa, these agencies deny opportunities to investors and economies and deprive nations of prosperity. The numbers tell a damning story. The Africa Peer Review Mechanism and the United Nations Development Programme place the cost of biased credit rating at a staggering $75 billion in lost opportunities. In a continent abundant with natural wealth, vast arable land, billions in diaspora remittances, and the world's largest carbon sinks, credit rating agencies have delivered 94% of all downgrades in the past decade, while arbitrarily designating only 2 African nations as investment grade. We must be bold and call this for what it is: a financial straitjacket imposed on Africa. A system that punishes our economies while rewarding others, even when the fundamentals are comparable, in some cases even better. Excellencies, the foundations of global finance are supposed to be anchored on principles of fairness, transparency, and merit. Yet, these principles are disregarded when it applies to Africa.
We are gathered for the UN at 80. The question is unavoidable. Is the United Nations relevant to the demands of our time? Can it continue to serve humanity in the face of current realities? Or has it become a relic of a bygone era?
Welcome back, Africans. Welcome back, the world, and everyone who has turned in or who has tuned in. Let's don't deny the fact that in Africa, we are so blessed. We are so blessed, not only with the resources, not only with the diamonds and golds, but we are blessed with everything that ever any man may want in this world. Because when you listen to our African leaders, whenever they are giving out their speeches, you may be so surprised. But the problems each and every person is asking: why are these leaders not working towards their words? Why are they not able just work according to their words, according to their visions, how they feel like they can change this great continent? There was a comment I passed across one day. The question was that they were trying to ask, why is it that Africa cannot just be independent? Despite Africa having the best leaders, despite African continent or countries having different leaders with the highest educations, very genius, having very great visions towards Africa, but why Africa is still being looked down? Let me tell you something today. All that's happened today in Africa, which we are feeling like it is not something that is that maybe it is making our continent not to grow, not to be independent, not to be free. There are some things that is binding Africa. We have many agreements. We have many agreements that are binding Africans and African leaders not to do some things. Because let me tell you something today. When you see these people going in these summits, every year going on a UN summit, AU summit, and at the end of it, they're coming with nothing to bring back home. It is because they're not being represented there. They're not having the permanent seat there. They're just going to like audience. They're going to attend these meetings just when they reach there on summits. They're just like audience. They're just like me and you who are just watching. But even if they come out with the great ideas, no one is listening to them. No one is ready to work towards their agendas. No one is ready to work towards their visions. So when I played your videos and clips of Dr. William Ruto, the president of the great country of Kenya, the country where the people are so awake and they know all that they are doing. They know that this is a time of being free. They know that this is a time of expelling all the puppet leaders. They know this is a great country. the country that's giving an example to African countries in the world. Because let me get out of the topic a little bit. If you can remember all that has happened in the country of Nepal, Gen Z is going on the parliament to ban this parliament. They all learned this from Kenya. We can't deny the fact. So today, many of the youths who are coming out, who are going on the street to do some things that people are trying to look at and feel like, wow, what's this? They learned from this great country. So that is the president of this great country of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. He is a very and most educated president at this time. He is very genius. He has a lot of great visions, whereby if these visions can be worked upon, then the great change can be seen here. Africa can change to something else. But today, despite having all this, why are we still suffering? Today, when you go to the country of Congo, people are still dying. When you go to the country of Sudan, do you want to tell me that if about all these great 54 countries of Africa, if each and every country say that we want to give out our 10,000 soldiers or military armies, if we want to give out each and 5,000 each of African countries to go and solve the problems of Congo today, do you want to tell me that this will be impossible? If each and every country give out a little support, a little contribution, and decide they want to go and stand by the country of Congo and settle the issues there, it is very simple. Very simple. But why is it being seen as something that is that cannot be done? If these people contribute a little bit, each of them, and say that they want to stand by these great countries which are suffering today, the country of Congo, the country of Sudan, this is something that can only take some few days and everything will be solved. But why are we today still believing that America is the only solution that can bring change in these countries? We are giving them opportunities. We are giving chances to come. We are asking for help. Just the other day, we have seen all that has happened in the country of Nigeria, whereby there are some thousands of Christians who have been slaughtered, who have been killed, you know. And the government was so silent about these incidents. The government has nothing. They had nothing to do with these incidents. People are crying out. It comes to the point whereby now the Nigerians themselves are calling upon America and Donald Trump to come and save them because they are dying. The families are dying. They are being killed. And this is an incident that we know, each of us know that it's true that Nigeria needs help. But what is that is more difficult for the African countries to solve that atrocities in the country of Nigeria? What is that cannot be done to make this country to regain its peace? So we were trained or placed in a position whereby if any problems arise in Africa, the only thing that we think of is about America, about France, about Britain, because we were told to believe that that's the only people that can bring us help.
America, please stand for us. We are dying. America, save our life. Yesterday, one of my colleagues, Reverend, was slaughtered with his wife and his children. We have nobody. Everybody, we are now ready to do the last prayer. We have nobody to stand. Women are dying every day. Men are dying. What do you want us to do? Please, please, I'm begging you. Please.
Right now, the people of Niger are determined to free themselves. The people of Mali are determined to free themselves. The people in that part of Africa were lied to after America bombed Libya and they flooded that region with weapons and they allowed these racist, jihadist, so-called Muslims, they unleashed them on the African continent. And these so-called Muslims, these so-called jihadists, who are affiliated with Al-Qaeda, some of them call themselves Al-Shabaab, some of them call themselves Boko Haram, all of them have been secretly financed from Washington and from NATO and the Europeans to create havoc in West Africa, so that while the African governments are preoccupied trying to fight these destabilizing forces, the West can continue to take the oil, take the gold, take the uranium, take the manganese, take the diamonds. They can continue to rape the African continent. But the Africans have woken up to the scheme. And they understand now that the Americans, the French, the British, they were never there to fight terrorism, but they were there to enable the so-called terrorists. That's what they were there doing all this time. And that's why very soon they're already talking about helping the so-called rebels. They don't use the term terrorists, but there are rebel groups who now want to go to war against Niger, and they will be financed from the West. They'll be given weapons from the West. But I'm saying to you, doesn't matter what you do, you will fail today.
That's the only people that can help us. So all this is happening because during the time of slavery and colonization, these people played the major parts. They played the major parts to make sure that even if they leave this Africa, they will not just leave, but they will leave Africa in a position whereby we will always need them. We will always need their help. Every time a problem arises in Africa, we are not able to solve it by ourselves. We are not able to solve by ourselves. We have to call them to come and serve us. And that is what they were trying to make sure that they left. And that's how they put Africa in a position, knowing that even if they go, we will still need them. And that's the reason everything today that's happening in Africa, they are the one who are causing. They cause these problems knowing that through this we will work, we will call for them. And when they come for it, they come in the name of helping, but on back of it, they are coming, continue to steal, loot. They come to access to our richness, our resources, our minerals, because they are coming to help. We have seen that just last year, the country of Sudan signed an agreement with the country of America that they are going to they are going to guarantee them security so that they can guarantee them peace in that country. So how can you expect the person who created that problem in your country to come and solve that problem? He caused this problem knowing that this will be the only way for him to come back to that country. This will be the only way for him to come and access to what he wants in that country. So if we cannot just wake up, we stand, we speak our voice and say that we are able to do this. We are so capable of solving our own problems. Instead, when anything happens in Africa, all 54 African leaders are being called in America, in Europe, to go and explain their problems. After that, after the explanation, they're being offered loans. They come back with huge amounts of money back in Africa. That's all that they come back home with. And these burdens, the citizens are the one, and the taxpayers are the one who are carrying it. They're the one who are able to pay all these great debts. That's why you see, even Africans work day and night. They raise a lot of money in the name of taxes, but there's nothing that can be that can happen here like change. There is no change that can be experienced here, because all that is happening, all that we are raising the money to go and pay the loans. So I presented a video of Dr. William Ruto just to show you how the eloquent, how the great leaders that we are having, but on back of it, they are doing nothing because they are on the gunpoint. That's how I believe. Just like I said, all this that is happening in the country of Nigeria, of Congo, in the country of Sudan, every African leaders, if they decide that they want to end it, each and every country to contribute and to give out 100 or 1,000 military armies that are going to solve these problems. We are not in a point of asking for help. We are not in a position of waiting for for permission for us to do anything that we want to do. But we are in a position of making our own decision because we are mature enough now today to govern ourselves, to make our own decisions that we feel and we believe that's best for us. It is going to build Africa, and it is going to it's going to bring change in Africa, but not waiting for other people to come and dictate to us. Because when they come, what do you expect? You will never expect that they will just come and smile for us. They will come to help. America, Europe has never been interested in Africa, has never been interested in anything from Africa, but they have been only interested in African resources, in African richness. That's all they think of. They don't care about your salary, about your life. All that they're doing today here is because of all that is in Africa, but not because of you, not because of me. So if we sit down thinking that maybe these people are here for us, they're here for our problems, then we are lost. So this is the time when I see the great African leaders are waking up to say that they want to join their hands together so that to resist from foreign influence. This means that maybe they are supporting the Traore's visions, because Ibrahim Traore stood and said that this is not the time of supporting these foreigners, because they have nothing good to offer to us, but all they're thinking is how to loot and steal African richness. They are there to cause problems, to cause chaos, to cause problems. And if we keep on believing in them, then we'll end up with nothing. But just like poor people in the country of problem, the continent of problem, as how they printed this Africa to look like. So this is the best time that I think that it is the time for each and every African leader to work on the vision and the agenda of this great continent, because this continent is very great and large than anyone else. Consider subscribing, share, comment, join my membership kindly. I have taken a lot of time, so let's continue pushing this agenda of the unity of Africa. Let's keep the speed of unity, because this is the agenda that we are having today, nothing else. Until next time, come and do the same. Thank you very much for being here and standing in each and every time. You are doing great, and I love you and appreciate your time. May you be blessed wherever you are watching from.